grab your partner, make her squirt. That's what I was getting at. That's what it was gonna be. Right. Let's jump right in to KissKast regular edition. Regular edition, because today we're going to be entering the Vinnie Vincent Invasion into the KissKast rankings. What we've decided to do is take the KissKast rank and open it up a little bit. Open it up. And I start to add, different solo artists, different bands that have been touched by Kiss in the past, bands that had different members in, and sort of expand it out to a Kiss extended universe. We'll be throwing the solo albums in there, and who knows, one day we might make an even broader list that involves, Guns N' Roses, because, they are part of the Kiss universe, they are part of the Kiss story. We're any band that has been covered, that has been touched by Kiss in the past, we might touch on. You never know. But for now, we're going to start the process of looking at Kiss solo records or side projects and start adding them to our list, expanding it out a little bit, because we're completionists, right? Is that fair to say?
For Kiss, absolutely.
Absolutely.
For Kiss, absolutely. Nothing else. Have I paid child support for my son's upkeep this month? No. But I have reviewed this record, and that's what's most important. Now, I've got a bit of a confession. I've got, exactly, who needs kids when you've got Kiss, I donated all of his child support to the Kiss Army. 7 a.m. getting dressed in the morning. Turns out, the story of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion is very, very dull and very, very boring. And Vinnie Vincent's life in general is quite boring. So it's going to be a bit of a sleepy episode, to tell you the truth. However, I had an idea, because I had gathered a lot of information, and none of it was really working. So what I decided to do was I went on Google Gemini, which is the most popular AI software, I believe, out there currently at the minute. And I got all my information, and I sort of put it in there. And I said, look, I'm struggling to make this interesting. I'm struggling to make this snappy. Could you write me a script? And please add enough anecdotes to make this interesting. Just try it. Something I don't know, just to kind of just to try to punch this up and make it interesting, because I'm really struggling right now. By the way, not normally my style at all. I love finding out about new bands and learning about rock history. It's something that I'm very passionate about, but I couldn't do it. It was so boring. So I decided to do this. Now, I have not read anything from this script. I don't know. This is the first time I'm looking at it. Okay? So, if it's all right with you, could we jump right in?
Let's do it. What does
Go for it.
Google have to say about Vinnie?
Okay, thank you. So, first it says, brackets, sound of crunchy, over-the-top guitar riffing fades slightly into the background. For shit! That's right! It's bang on. Bang on so far. And it says, episode title, The Happy Days Guitar Hero, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. What's that got to do? By the way, that better be the name of the video. Alex, when you're uploading this to YouTube, that better be the name of the video. The Happy Days Guitar Hero, Vinnie Vincent Invasion.
I'll make a banner.
So first it says welcome back to Axology Extended. It seems to think we should rename the podcast to Axology Extended, which we could do. That's not bad. The podcast that digs deep into the stories of rock's most electrifying and often most enigmatic guitarists. Today, we're diving into the history of a man who is arguably one of the most talented most prolific, and yes, most utterly puzzling figures in the glam metal universe. Vinnie Vincent, most prolific. He's released 2 albums. 2 albums, and then 2.
Google
like 1.5
knows
albums
something we
with
don't.
Kiss. It's something that we don't.
Yeah.
But most talented. Most talented. Where do we sit with that?
Danny, you take this first.
Upper end? Is it the upper end, I'd say?
He's not untalented. It's not untalented.
No, I think he's a very talented guitarist. I think I'm on record of praising Vinny's guitar work in previous episodes. So I think
He's better than you.
He's better than me, and I'm pretty up there in the glam metal scene.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, right? Vinnie Vincent is good. What do you want out of a Vinnie Vincent solo album? Just whilst we're there, whilst we're on the man and his many talents, what do you want out of a Vinnie Vincent album, Alex?
This is something I was thinking about on the listen to the album, because what I want from him, I guess, is shredding, wibbly like guitar solos. But then beyond that, like, what do I want the rest? What do I want the rest of the song to look like? You know what I mean? Where it's like, do I just want it just to be, only guitar, just instrumental? Do I want it to be, crazy, crazy nights plus those solos? That I'm really not sure about. Like, where's the balance where it's not just completely overwhelming?
Right.
I wanted Vinny to show. I wanted Vinny to be the main man, because I felt as though when we were going through the Kiss story, he was, he was casted aside. He was always put down as this weirdo. Sometimes by you, Alexei. Yeah.
Well,
and so I want him to be front and center. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit quite unfairly, you could say.
You're looking a little bit transgender. That's what the drummer Carmine Appice had to say about Vinnie Vincent and his recent appearance, if you're curious. So, yeah. So, in terms of what in terms of the what you were saying about Vinny being the main thing in this record, right? As in him, he's taking the lead on this record. It's one of the first. It is the first record that we've covered where I guess the guitar is, I suppose, meant to be front and center, right? It's not the vocalist, because I think normally we're sort of drawn towards talking about the vocals and the vocal melody and the hooks and stuff like that. This one, I guess the focus is meant to be more on the guitar, but I wouldn't necessarily call this a sort of guitar player's album in that sense. It's no like Steve Vai.
I'm not sure the focus is supposed to be on the guitar.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not really like...
I know what you mean. Yeah, no, I think, maybe we come in assuming that, but actually, as you were probably about to say, what we get is standard, song structures. There's not one instrumental track on the album, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, for the most part, I wouldn't really call this like a guitarist sort of album, really, is it? As in, the guitar isn't necessarily the focal point.
No.
Were there, or at this point in the 80s, were there those like, I'm thinking like Joe Satriani or was it Steve Vai? Were there any of those characters around that were just purely like, guitar focused? No.
I don't know.
A few years away yet till like Steve Vai's first album.
Okay.
Maybe Yngwie Malmsteen was around by this point. I don't know when he hit the scene.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was one of the first ones but even him, he had like vocals and stuff.
Yeah, he did. I think Yngwie was about 100%.
What I would like out of a Vinnie Vincent album is pretty much actually what Alex said. But I don't really want like just Eruption, for example. Right. I want him to have more room to play with like arrangements and stuff. And interesting sounds, maybe doing more with the guitar. But also, yeah, I want to hear loads of shred. And I assumed there would be vocals. I thought.
Yeah.
I come on to it later. I think he was very much tutored by Paul and Gene. And I think the idea of doing like a fully instrumental record is not commercially viable in Vinnie Vincent's mind yet.
What do you mean by tutored by Paul and Gene? In what way?
I talk about this later when we get into the music. The way... Okay. Definitely the lyrics. Definitely the type of songs that he's trying to write. I do wonder whether these are the sorts of songs he'd write organically if he hadn't have been a member of Kiss. I think he's seen what sells, and maybe even to a greater extent, he's been told what sells.
Yeah.
And he's leaning into that.
Okay. Bit intense.
I think it's likely that they were given an idea of what kind of music to make, or like, told what music sells well. There's definitely influences of 1987 on here.
Came out in 86, actually.
86.
Yeah.
Is it?
And also,
86.
again, this gets on to... We're getting ahead of ourselves, but this doesn't... Of course, we get a lot of guitar, we get a lot of shred, but this doesn't that much sound like an album of a guitarist who's finally free to do what he wants. Because we know what Vinny wants to do is shred. All these stories about him doing like these God knows how long solos on stage during Kiss shows, them getting into arguments. Like this guy wants to show off that he can play guitar very fast. And of course we get that on this album, but do you know what I mean? It's not, as we said, it's not a Steve Vai type album. It's not even an Yngwie Malmsteen type album, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
it's called the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. You know what I mean? Like, but he isn't. I mean, he.
Oh yeah, the presentation is.
But it's not his show.
Yeah.
Entirely.
I was just thinking about what, just on what you said, Danny, about like how, that this isn't the kind of album where it's like a guitarist is unleashed to sort of shred and do what he wants. What I guess he was. We do get that on this album, but I think it's nestled a lot of those sort of solos that maybe he would do live. They're nestled within these sort of like quite bog standard pop songs, essentially. Yeah. And not to give too much away, doesn't always work. Or do you know what I mean? Not the right sensibility. Not the right sensibility.
Yeah.
But we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that bear. So back to the script. So it says we're going to track the arc of his life from his Connecticut roots right up to the spectacular, over-the-top debut of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Get ready, because the only constant in this man's career is pure, unbridled guitar anarchy. And then it says brackets, short musical sting, fast shredding guitar like Alex. Get on it!
Fuck's sake. Okay.
Right. Is that over now? Cool. Part 1. This has been split up into parts. The Curious Case of Vincent John Cusano. It's 8 pages long, this, by the way. Just the background. It's 8 pages long. I'm joking. It's only 3. It's only 3. Don't worry. It's only 3 pages. You have to sit through this. I made the font quite big. Before he was the Anked Warrior, before he was the V-Man, the V-Man. Do people call him the V-Man? The Vagina Man. Grab your partner, make her squirt. It's the V-Man. Before he was the V-Man. Before he was the V-Man, he was just Vincent John Cusano, or VJC, as he was known. Born in Bridgeport, Connecticut in 1952. Right from the jump, music was the family business. It wasn't hard rock, though. It was country. His father, Alfonso, is his name? Alfonso. Sorry. I wasn't expecting his dad to be called Alfonso. I don't know why I don't know why that's blindsided me. Alfonso was a pedal steel guitarist, and his mother, Teresa, was a country singer. Imagine that. Little Vinny growing up in a house filled with the sounds of weeping steel and twangy vocals. He later
say
recalled... yeah, it said that. Imagine that.
Picture the scene. The little Ankman.
Yeah. He later recalled that he'd fall asleep listening to his parents' band practice. He loved guitar so much, he literally slept with it. Slept with it is in bold for some reason. Slept with it as a young boy, even before he knew how to play. Ah, that's pretty sweet, isn't it? His dedication was intense, taking lessons early and even exploring the classical side of playing. But amid all the musical seriousness, there's a funny little footnote from his youth. I have no idea what this is going to be, by the way. I haven't got a fucking clue what this is going to be. While he did manage a brief stint teaching guitar and selling instruments, when he graduated high school in 1970, he earned a very rock and roll designation. Oh, fuck off. Sorry, I've just seen what it is. Fuck off.
What was the designation?
Oh my god! Sorry. Sorry. While he did manage a brief stint teaching guitar and selling instruments, when he graduated high school in 1970, he earned a very rock and roll designation. He was voted a class clown of his graduating class. A little hint of the personality to come, perhaps.
I didn't realize we were dealing with such a maverick right now.
He spent the 1970s bouncing around in various musical projects. His first foray into intentionally renowned artists came with the band Treasure, which released an album in 1977. He played in other groups like Hunter and Warrior, and then he made what is said to be one of the most unlikely career moves in rock history. He packed up and moved to Los Angeles from 19... What? I think that's over-egging the pudding. Just a little bit.
That pudding is over.
A lot of people... he packed up and moved to Los Angeles from 1980 to 1982. He became a staff songwriter for television. Yes, Vinnie Vincent, the future king of shred, was writing songs for the sitcoms Happy Days and its short-lived spin-off, Joni Loves Chachi? Chachi? What the hell is that? Think about that for a second. The man who would write anthems about boys rocking and shooting you full of love was also sitting on the Paramount lot, writing breezy acoustic tunes for a show set in the 1950s. Vinnie himself later said that his time there was genuinely, quotation marks, happy days. A genuine guitar-wielding paradox. Right. I know this is jokes or whatever, right? But having read that about working on sitcoms and television, can you hear that a bit on this album? Because I think I can. I think there are moments on this album where he's sort of flexing that muscle a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I can point to tracks.
Which muscle do you mean? Like acoustic?
Substitute. No, substitute. As in, substitute could be be the theme song for like a daytime, medical drama like Doctors. Do you feel me? Or what's that of Oh Baby? Is it called Oh Baby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the like really 80s one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel that a bit here. I can hear that flex. Next, coming up. It says, short musical sting. A fast jump from a guitar solo to a 1950s style tune. Alex, Get on it! Part 2. The formation of the invasion. By the way, I did tell it to exclude all Kiss-related material, because we have covered that. That exists. After his explosive and brief run with Kiss, Vinnie Vincent didn't fade away. He dove headfirst into creating a vehicle for his complete vision. A band where he would be completely unrestrained. That band was the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Following his 1984 departure from his former band, Vincent reportedly used the money he earned to take a year-long vacation. And upon his return, the pieces for the invasion fell into place. He teamed up with bassist Donna Strum, a guy who had great connections on the Sunset Strip. They recruited lead singer Robert Fleischman, with whom Vinnie had worked previously in the band Warrior. And on drums, a guy from Texas named Bobby Rock. Bobby Rock's story about his audition is a classic piece of Invasion folklore, but again, I do not know what this is. By the way, I haven't got a clue what this is going to be. When Bobby first called Strum to inquire, Strum was at lunch with Vinnie. Vinnie checked his machine and, amused by the enthusiastic message, turned to Vinnie and jokingly said, "Hey, I just found our new drummer. Says he's ready to drive all the way here and audition." Vinnie's initial response, "Fuck him." What? Strum countered, suggesting, "How fucking funny would it be to have this kid drive all the way here just to bomb out of an audition and then have to drive all the way back home?" A little dark humor that secured Bobby Rock the chance to audition and eventually
Really endearing
the
story
gig.
From Vinnie right there.
There's only one more page of this. I'm so sorry. There is only one more page.
Really funny too.
Yeah, really.
The band's image was pure mid-80s Hollywood glam metal excess. Mountains of hair, spandex, and makeup. Drummer Bobby Rock's attire, in particular, was described as having pants look like they were painted on. It's all set the stage for an over-the-top musical experience. Part 3, and then we're done. I'm so sorry. There's not much longer of this. There is not much longer than this. We should probably put a timestamp just to skip the background. Self-titled debut album, Vinnie Vincent Invasion, was finally released in August 1986 on Chrysalis Records. And I mean finally, because Vinnie had been burying himself in the studio since 1984, working on demos. 6 of the album's songs were originally tracks he intended for the follow-up album to his previous band's Lick It Up album. Do you hear much Kiss? Do you hear much Kiss on this record?
In some spots, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. All over it. The song styles, the riffs, the sort of music they're trying to write for the most part. I hear a lot of Kiss, 80s Kiss.
Yeah, I agree. The album was co-produced by Vinnie Vincent and Donna Strum and recorded at Baby O Recorders in Hollywood. The debut became an immediate success in one respect. Wow. It became the fastest-selling hard rock debut on Chrysalis Records. Oh, wow. It's amazing. Well done. The record the record was a sonic manifesto. Vinnie wasn't just playing guitar. He was, as one reviewer put it, punishing it. It was a dense, violent, and melodic blend of shred-heavy glam metal that showcased his virtuosity. The liner notes made a curious and bold claim that the album featured no pedals, outboard gear, or synthesizers. A strange assertion, considering how over-the-top and processed everything sounds. Even Google could not see through that. Even Google Gemini was like, "Nah, that's obviously bollocks." AI instantly was like, "Well, that's obviously not true, considering how it fucking sounds." It's obviously got like pedals and outboard. There's loads of effects on it. Fucking loads.
I would argue, just for the sake of of being just of trusting them, you can still fuck up a sound with analog and tape. So maybe I write about this later. Maybe for no reason they did do it that way, and the results were bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 'Cause it could be.
But also maybe you're right, Alexei. They're just like because it does sound very processed.
It sounds incredibly processed. I'm going to take this out of the way now. This album sounds so bad. This album sounds awful. Like the mix and the sounds, it's terrible. It sounds so bad. One of the worst, I would argue. The mix, one of the most bamboozling mixes, I think that we've covered. Let's have a look. Well, now it's got a breakdown of some of the tracks, and obviously we're going to do that, so let's skip that. We're not going to go into that. But I will say that according critics took notice, placing the album high on their lists. Kerrang! Magazine ranked it on both their list of the 100 greatest rock albums. Rock albums? What, all rock albums? What, of all time? Of all time?
Not the 80s, but
no.
of all time.
Surely not. It must have just been of that year. Hang on, I've got to look that up.
All time.
I've got to look that up.
Damn, man. I got to re-listen to
Kerrang!
To Shoot You Full of Love.
Man.
Okay, so it was right. So that is also kind of over-egging the pudding. It was number 100 on Kerrang's 1989 list of the 100 greatest heavy metal albums of all time. Of all time.
Heavy metal.
Surely not.
Filters it quite a bit, though.
Still 100. That's very, very high. Very, 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 very high. Right. So the tour and the singer swap. To support the debut album, Vinnie Vincent Invasion hit the road. They notably opened for Alice Cooper in 1986, who was on the Nightmare Returns tour, and later for Iron Maiden in 1987. It put the band in front of massive audiences who were ready for their unique brand of rock excess. However, almost immediately, the Invasion became a revolving door, at least at the microphone. Though Robert Fleischman, their singer, you've probably forgot that by now. He's had that little mention. He is the singer on this album. Although Robert Fleischman sang every note on the debut album, he left the band prior to the filming of the music video for the main single, Boys with a Z Are Going a Rock. Sorry, are Going a Rock. Going a Rock. Are Gonna Rock. I'm going to call it Going a Rock from now on. This led to the now infamous situation where Fleischman's replacement, a young vocalist named Mark Slaughter, was recruited to lip sync to Fleischman's vocals in the video. This is true. If you look at the video for Boys Are Gonna Rock, it's not actually the guy who sings on this album singing in the video. Well, he is singing, well, not like this new guy's lip singing to his vocals, if that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's so Kiss.
Yeah. No, you're right. That is a very, very Kiss move to make. It is a very, very Kiss move to make. Right, I've lost my
But just to
space.
be clear,
Thanks
you're
for
saying
throwing
that
me off.
Robert Fleischman
Complete bell end.
sung all the songs on the album?
On this record, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Really?
You can tell that. It's the same voice. Yeah, he sings exactly the same. Whenever every single album, every single song on this fucking album sounds exactly the same. Partly due to his vocals.
There are some where
they sound exactly the same.
The voice, like the recording is very different, like the recording style, and sometimes I thought, is this someone else? Okay. Because I knew there was a singer change. I think it was somewhere like, they're kind of like recording style where he's like up close to the mic, or somewhere he's just singing in that high voice.
No, this sounds the same. No, I disagree with that. You are just so weak. You are just so weak. I disagree entirely with that. It's very wrong. He sounds exactly the same on every track. And you should be ashamed of yourself. This iteration of the band, the new lineup, Vinnie, Dana Strum, Bobby Rock, and Mark Slaughter. If you can remember who Dana Strum and Bobby Rock are, good on you. Continues to tour and promote the debut album, cementing their place as one of the most over-the-top glam metal acts of all time. Mark Slaughter's high register vocals and the band's outrageous look perfectly matched Vinnie's hyper-aggressive guitar shredding in a live setting. And with that, we've got to do a Kiss casualty on Robert Fleischman. So what do you reckon his highs and lows are? What do you think he brought to the band? And what is his lasting impact and legacy? By the way, it's worth mentioning, surprised it wasn't actually brought up in here, but he actually used to be the singer of Journey. It wasn't brought up. Google seemed to miss that.
Yeah, that's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he played on an album, but he was in Journey. I thought that would be...
He sounds like a Journey singer.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he does. He does, yeah. Definitely. Good point there, Danny. Well done. Have a wank on me.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Welcome. Have a...
Oh, cheers, mate.
Give one to the partner for me. The story of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. The story of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion's first era is the story of a guitarist unleashed. Oh my god. A songwriter with a curious past, a visionary and boundless talent, and a creative force that simply could not be contained. It all leads right up to the next chapter, the inevitable push for a second album. But we'll leave it at that for another time. And now it says
Thank
sound
fuck.
as sound of Boys Are Gonna Rock, which fades in and out, and then fades in and then fades out. And then it wants me to say, and that's all the time we have for this week's Axology Extended. Join us next time as we dive into... And then it says, and then there's an ellipses. I mean, sure, logically, you'd assume it'd be the second Vinnie Vincent Invasion album, which I don't know, I can't remember the name of. What I think people listening don't know is that we've edited it together, but that took fucking ages to get to because the call kept cutting out. So that ending where it was meant to be this like kind of like this the first era is a story of a guitarist unleashed is so anticlimactic. It's ridiculous. So basically, it got to number 64. This is in my own words, this bit. It got to 64 on the Billboard 200, which I think for an album like this is not too bad. It got okay reviews.
I think that's very good.
I think that's pretty good. It's all right, isn't it? I think that I'm not actually sure if like Peter or Ace were doing those sort of numbers at this point. I think Ace was probably outselling him. I'd imagine he was. But that's okay. That's pretty good. Back to Carmine Appice, who I mentioned earlier, who was the drummer of Dio, who actually used to play with Vinnie Vincent in a band called Carmine Appice and the Rockers. And he actually mentions this record. We'd like to know what he says and what he says about Vinnie Vincent's guitar playing on it.
Punishing.
Says, that's a hard rocking album. Love it.
Punishing. He said that Vinnie Vincent played like crap on those albums. He was trying to be Yngwie, and that just wasn't him. The guitars were mixed way too loud.
That
I
is
think
true, that last bit.
That thing that he said is well, it's right, isn't it? I mean, you can't get past that. The guitars are mixed.
They're so loud.
To quote Paul, ungodly loud. The guitars are very fucking loud, and I think that's putting it quite mildly. Right? Is that fair to say? One at a time, boys.
It's fair to say.
Okay. It's fair to say. Very, very loud. But enough about that. I hope you enjoyed that little script that Jam and I put together. Let's move on to the cover, the album cover for this. The amount of V's is astounding. There's one for Vinnie, there's one for Vincent, there's another in Invasion, And if that wasn't enough, there's a big predatory V behind Invasion. You have to see it to believe how many V's are on this album cover. It's not just the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. It's the Vinnie Vincent Invasion.
But the way it's written, though, it makes it look like it's a Vinnie Vincent album, and the album's called Invasion. I don't think the branding's very clear, honestly.
Yeah, I feel that. I think you'd maybe have to know beforehand. Vinnie Vincent. Yeah, I think you'd probably have to know before that. Good point, Alex. That's a very, very, very good point. Danny, what do you think of this album
That's
artwork?
a good point. It's a little bit sort of endearing in a dated sort of way.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
looks so old. It looks so... Like, nothing looks like this anymore. Even things trying to look retro don't look like this. So, in a way, it's quite endearing. Like, it's... I don't know. The way there's, like... Are they tall buildings? Like, they're skyscrapers? Is it... There's something a bit like... I don't know, 1984 about it or something. I don't know if that's intentional. But... It's not... Like we've definitely seen worse album covers, but
I don't think it's
worse
a bad
album
cover.
covers.
aesthetically and visually, of course, yeah. I'm just saying, but nor is it blowing my mind visually. It's I'd say it's pretty near the middle.
It's very, very of its time. Like you
Alex,
said.
what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with
so
that.
of its time.
There's something kind of sweet about it, and its retroness. And I quite like the way the buildings, if that's what they are, kind of look. Reminds me of like the Batman animated show. I know that was like a 90s
I was going to say
thing,
that.
much
I was
later.
going to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to say
yeah.
that. That's in my notes. That's
But I really like that style.
yeah. The sort of Art Deco. It's kind of slightly Art Deco futuristic sort of vibe.
Yeah. Just doesn't fit the album. It's sort of that at all. But I think it looks cool.
No, it looks much darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yeah.
it's like
No,
the
no.
world's so dark and Vinnie Vincent is bringing his light to the world. You know what I mean? Like he's the new
He's invading.
he's bringing life back to music.
About it.
He's bringing his V of progress
Every
to
single
the
woman,
metropolis.
every single
People
woman
of
in that
Earth.
metropolis is squirting all over their partners as we speak. That's the power of the giant V. So the album artwork, I agree, is kind of, it's this Art Deco futuristic city thing, which I think's fine. It's kind of cool. Do you agree that do you agree that it's a lot better than kind of what Kiss were putting out at this period? Like the Animalized covers, Asylum covers,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Much better,
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Much better. I agree. Now, the front isn't really much to write on down. Now, the back of the album, that's really where the action is, right? In my opinion. The action is at the back of the album, right? You can tell, right? You can tell the singer is not in it for the long haul at all. He is not committed to the bit at all. He looks like he's in a completely different band. He looks like he's in like a new romantic band.
Yeah, new wave.
He really, really does. Right, so Vinnie Vincent. Vinnie Vincent looks like he's on benefits, right? And you're going to think that's a really fucking strange thing to say, right? You're going to think that's a really weird thing to say, but I don't know if you've ever been to a job centre, right? I have been. I have been to a job centre, right? I've been to a job centre quite a few times in my life, right? And there's always a really wacky-looking guy in there who looks just like this. Whose life is probably in complete fucking chaos. All they do is drink like cheap bottles of Echo 4s and spend most of their money at like thrift shops and stuff like that. That's exactly what he looks like. The guy in the bottom left looks like he's in like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. He still looks like he's in a different band.
He's looking good, man.
He
looks good.
Like same genre, but a different band. Like different photo shoot. That's what I'm saying.
Like Manowar.
Yeah.
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 I was going to say Manowar. It's that vibe. Look, He-Man. He's He-Man. It's definitely a vibe.
It's looking good, man.
It's definitely a look. It's definitely a look. So I've said my piece. What
Yeah.
do you Vinny's look is definitely a change. It's a transformation. What do you guys reckon? Because, I mean, look, a lot is said about his physical appearance. Maybe we don't have to go there, you know. But he has changed looks.
You don't have to go there, Alexei.
We don't have to go there. Do you have anything you want to say about his look? Or do you feel like it's punching down at this point?
Do you think this is the way he wanted to go with Kiss when he left Kiss? You think he wanted to go more into this, like glam look?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
He's got ideas in his head for being in that band that wouldn't be there otherwise, I think.
Yeah. Do you think it's like in terms of the ideas, do you think in this scenario, in terms of the look, it's like, oh, we got to go big. We got to go big to be noticed, that kind of thing?
Mm. Yeah, I think so, because
Probably a
did
bit
you
of
watch
that.
the music video, Alexei?
Yes. Yeah. Well, skimmed it.
Yeah, they go super hard into that look, into that hair model. They hit all the tropes, and they completely going for it. And it is hard to tell whether that's because that's what they want to do and that's what they're super into, or if it's just, some executive saying this is the blueprint. And that's a little bit of what I get from this cover, minus the singer.
Definitely. I think it doesn't help as well because Vinny, it is clearly not working for Vinny. That he's right above that guy. I don't know who he is, and it is working for him. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy at the bottom. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So the guy on the bottom left, right? It is a look. It's a vibe. He does look pretty good. If that's the vibe you're going for. Do you know what I mean? He's going for the hair metal thing. He's doing it pretty well. So it doesn't
He's showing a chiseled body. I think a lot of it's just that. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, that guy, he looks very healthy.
Yeah, he's ripped.
Well, Vinny,
right?
I don't know.
He's ripped.
Yeah, he's ripped, that other guy. I don't know what you want me to say about Vinny, Alexei. I don't know what you want me to say.
All right. Yeah, it's punching down at this point. Right. Are we ready to get into it? Are we ready to get into
Please.
the album? So
I
we'll
Wanna
start
Rock.
things off with it's called Boys Are Gonna Rock. With a Z. Boys with a Z are gonna rock. And we start things off, loads of feedback, and I'm in drum fill. Break.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're in. Can I ask a question? Why does every hair metal song have this exact beat? Every single hair metal song has this exact boom ka boom boom ka boom ka boom boom ka. I mean, I guess it's just like an AC/DC thing.
That's the hard rocking beat.
Yeah, I think it's just like an AC/DC thing. It must be. Right. What do we guys reckon of Boys? Boys Are Gonna Rock. Alex, why don't you take us away with this one?
For the first track on the album, it makes it pretty clear what sort of sound we're getting.
We're in.
Yeah, we're in this. It is, like you say, you said, Alexei, that a lot of the genre has that drum beat, but also a lot of other bands from this genre have this exact song, have this exact sort of intro. It's very much pulling from the hair metal tropes. I will say though, even though it suffers from a lot of the problems of this album, I think this song works pretty well because there is sort of this feeling of oh, we're starting up. There's that rev at the beginning, and then the slight little and it sort of draws you in a little bit, and then it goes into the song. While with many problems of this album,
yeah, a lot of the songs are like that. Though a lot of the songs on this album have the exact same vibe. It's all ooh, we're gonna get ya. We're going in. We're going to find right now.
I think the pacing of this song is better than most of the other ones, though, on this album.
Oh, it's what.
And so I think it makes it a slightly. I think it makes it a good introduction, though. We get our first taste of the shredding in here, and it's immediately clear just like how this band is gonna be, because it's so ill-fitting, and Vinny goes straight to 11 with his solo. There's no build-up. This is the first solo on the entire album. Yep. And then like 2 seconds in, it's just
it's a huge problem.
Just as fast as he can go, and it's so jarring. I'm gonna say it multiple times with this album, but it is guitar wankery, and that isn't completely negative.
Totally. That's not even that's putting it mildly. This is one of the worst offenders of it I've heard in my life. Because I'll tell you why from my perspective, right? Because Yngwie Malmsteen's guitar wankery, that is what you expect. His music is composed in a way where that is it. It's constructed in a way. This is like a pop song, right? Essentially. And like you said,
that's what we were saying, yeah.
The solo comes in, right? The solo comes in, and you're right, it's so jarring and so all over the place. I wrote Beyond Parody a lot. Do you remember that bit in This Is Spinal Tap, where it's Nigel Tufnell doing his guitar solo? And it's just like...
Yeah.
It's like that. But actually, a better description of it is like, if you put a guitar on like really, really high gain, and then this is something that Corey Feldman was doing quite recently, and then just told him like pretend to shred. So just move your fingers really quickly and then just like strum really quickly. It wouldn't sound that different from this. Do you know what I mean? It really would not sound that different from this. There's kind of a fine line between something sounding kind of like fast and impressive and actually just kind of sounding like really just noise, and anyone could do it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. But it's not. Well, it is that, but also for sometimes it sounds like he was in a completely different room from the rest of the band, like really like disjointed, with this song and many of the others. And so I'm not going to go too much into it because a lot of the problems reoccur throughout the album. But I think this is actually one of the more enjoyable songs on the album, and I thought, listening to the whole thing, this was a pretty good intro.
Yeah. You know what? I will say this, where I have the same criticisms as you do for the most part. But ultimately, I think as a whole, coming out the other end, I think that it's kind of a serviceable hair metal song, like a 5 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
It's very bog standard at the end of it. However, sonically, the mix is really, really, really bad. The guitars are way, way too loud. The backing vocals are really loud in the chorus. Super, super loud. To the point where they actually drowned down the lead vocals. I actually turned the song down when the chorus kicked in because the backing vocals are that jarring. But it is a lot better than the average Gene song from this period. I'd say in terms of average filler tracks.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. In terms of average filler tracks on a Kiss record, this, and actually most of the songs on this record, are better than the average filler song from a Kiss record, from this period at least, and probably before it as well. And really, that's kind of my review of the whole record. I think a lot of my criticisms and positives, because the songs are so similar, can be summed up in this one song. I think a lot of my criticisms and a lot of my, praises for this album are pretty universal from track to track, because it is that kind of one note, this record. Danny, what do you think?
It sounds like at this point in the album, I'm in a better place than you guys, because, it's just started. I was thinking, nice riff, and he's doing this weird whammy effect as the opening riff goes. He's like, as it starts. I quite like that. That's already something that probably Paul or Gene would have vetoed. Like, already, he's doing slightly more interesting things than Kiss would probably allow. All sounding very of its time, but I put not complaining yet, It is the mid-80s.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he's doing little, weaving little shred licks here and there, during verses and stuff. I always like that stuff. I was wondering who the fuck the singer is. I guess I assumed someone more heavy sounding. Well, he really does. I mean it when he says he sounds like a singer of Journey. That really makes sense that he was a singer in Journey.
Yeah. The range in the high register is
one
insane.
theme neither of you guys
got
have...
some fucking range.
Yeah, really high register.
Insane range.
Yes. One thing you guys I don't think have mentioned is, like, this is something we're going to see a lot, is, I don't know about that chorus, boys. I don't know if that's the one. That was not a hook. That was not a great hook. And everything you guys said about the guitar, I think I would agree with. However, again, at this point in the album, what I wrote was, fuck off, that solo is gorgeous wankery. I did say the high gain tone is almost funny. And it's just, again, how crazy high it is in the mix is...
It's ludicrous.
It's that borderline funny, but I was fucking with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a lot of it, I was thinking it's that sort of same old 80s metal thing, especially hair metal, where the guitar work is weirdly impressive, and the songs themselves are completely hit or miss, generally based on the chorus. That's sort of my take on hair metal.
Yeah.
But with this one, at the end, I was loving we were getting I thought the outro solo was better than the mid solo. But I was thinking, I'm fucking with this, a good bit compared to a lot of the stuff that we've listened to. But I feel like a lot of what I'm going to be saying is very, like, Kiss adjacent stuff that I've said in the past, especially in the 80s, where it's like, I don't have much to say about the song, but damn, that was some lovely masturbatory shred. And let's see how far that can take me throughout this album.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Shoot You Full of Love. Some of these titles.
Yeah, I know.
I think even Gene would have...
First thing I wrote, horrible title.
Horrible. I think even
That's what I'm saying, Gene. This is Gene.
Yeah.
I think he would have vetoed this. I don't know, actually. Some of his Dance All Over a Face, Burn Pitch. Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know, man.
I think it's weird. I think it's weird that the singer left because he sounds fucking into it. It doesn't sound like he's like, oh, I'm not really that bothered. This is just sort of a job. He's really he's really fucking going for it. Like, I actually quite like his vocals. I think he's got quite a good range. He's got a sort of like noddy holder Joe Elliott thing going that I quite like. Danny, you mentioned someone earlier. I can't think who it was. Yeah, I can't remember.
Did I?
But I remember going, yes, that's right.
I don't remember.
Again, that same fucking beat.
Well, I was. So I stand by that.
Yeah. It's again that same fucking beat again. It's all hair metal drummers, right, have drum kits that have like 4 bass drums, and all they ever do is go boom, ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka. Right. All these songs like have the same sort of vibe. It's just kind of like the gang's on. We're on the loose. We're out of the town. Here we go. We're going in. And I guess that's fine. The solo is better. I think the solo is better on this one, but Jesus Christ, it's so loud. It is so loud. Like, it's weird looking at this record because,
so loud.
Again, I guess normally, like I said at the beginning, we're sort of gravitating more towards the lead vocals. This one, I guess, was sort of... like we said, it's not written in the way where you're meant to listen to the guitars more. It's more about the song as a whole. But I guess he's shoehorning the guitar solos in as if you're meant to be listening to the guitars more. But I guess you should do. So he's not necessarily serving the song. It's kind of like, now, listen to this. Like Danny said, masturbatory shred. Like, it's repeating myself. Again, it's much better than a lot of what Kiss were putting out at this time in terms of filler tracks. There's more of an attempt at a hook. These songs on this album, they're not as disjointed, I don't think, as a lot of Kiss songs can be. Like, I think they're competently put together. Again, it's 5 out of 10. It's 5 out of 10. In terms of quality, I think this album is very, very consistent. It's very, very, very consistent. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah. Again, I agree with what you just said about. I hadn't thought about that. How these songs are very like consistent, as opposed to Kiss songs, which are all over the place, and you just sort of pray that Paul comes out and actually tries on the chorus, because when he does that, you get something great. But they don't do that enough. Anyway, this song, horrible title. I thought it's like Paul and Gene mentored him in the worst way. Like, of all the things they could teach him, especially Paul.
Yeah.
That's what he's took from it, is that this is the sort of shit you have to write.
He wasn't writing this on the set of Happy
minute
Days.
in and I wasn't noticing anything. He wasn't what?
He wasn't writing this on the set of Happy Days.
Well, maybe it was. This is what got turned down. The intro for Happy Days.
I don't know about that, Vinny. Not sure about that one. Sorry, carry on.
Again, on the chorus, I mean, with the backing vocals, there was a little more to the chorus, but I wasn't rocking out. So same thing with the chorus. Needs better hooks. He's still doing those like little licks here and there. There's a lovely one in the second verse. On the guy's vocals, similar thoughts to you, Alexei. This man has a voice that is actually very typical in a lot of metal subgenres, I think. And we've spoken about it on the podcast before. It's like the James LaBrie syndrome, where like the range is so impressive.
Oh, he's better
but
than
if you
James
have
LaBrie.
to sound like that to go up there, it's a double-edged knife.
He's way better than James. He's way better than James LaBrie. Actually, you know what? I think he sounds. You're right. You're right about Journey.
There's something iconic about James LaBrie.
Fucking hell. Right. So you're right about Journey. About you're saying he sounds like a Journey vocalist. I actually think he sounds like a power metal vocalist. So I guess the James LaBrie comparison is quite apt. Like he sounds like the lead singer of like Hammerfall or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he sounds like a power metal singer.
Yeah.
And on the solo, maybe I started to feel more like you guys on the first track. Again, I was so just like, I wanted that shred in the first track, and you can't say he didn't deliver. So for this one, I thought, well, the solo's bitchin', but it, as far as I could see, it was exactly the same solo. Like, it was almost copy and pasted. Like, he doesn't play like in any key usually. It's just like chromatic shredding. And again, this is where I really, we've touched on it. I was like, Jesus, Vinny, we can hear you. It's so loud. Like, he's small man syndroming all over this album.
Unbelievable. Also, you're right about like the high gain sound as well. Like the high gain sound, you can hear his pick on the strings a lot of the time. You'll know more about it than I. But
he could breathe on those strings.
Yeah, and you'd hear it. And you'd
hear it. Yeah,
but it does not sound. It does not. It sounds messy, like in a bad way. In a very, very bad way. It's not this. It's not what this album is going for. Like there's a lot of comparisons I make later on to like Def Leppard. Like, it sounds almost like Pyromania era Def Leppard in terms of the songwriting, particularly the next track and some more on the album. And that kind of shredding that he has got, high gainy, like messy, dirty, horrible shredding, which might work in a live setting in an arena when you're doing like a solo where it's nothing but you and the solo where you're just showing off shred. But for these songs, it's just completely wrong. It takes you way out of it. It sounds like a joke. Like, it sounds like a parody.
Yeah, or just mix it. Yeah.
Mix it down. Yeah, I mean,
it does sound funny.
Yeah, it's the sound that he's going for. Like, it just sounds wrong.
But yeah. I agree. And it's on this album from start to finish. But anyway, Alex, what do you think about Shoot You Full of Love?
For full transparency, I've listened to this album through YouTube, and it says on YouTube it's the 2003 remastered edition, but like, who knows what that means in that sense. But I just bring that up because, like you guys already said, the mixing is all over the place, and especially with some songs, including this one, Shoot You Full of Love, like, it's just so difficult to to like focus on it. Like even though it's a very simple song in many aspects, like it just sounds all over the place. The singing is completely forgettable, even though it's constantly going, and there's this like, I think he's trying to sing some hooks and melodies, but like there's nothing sticks, and his singing is super thin in the mix. That's probably like the high register stuff going on, and then like you said, like the solos are just like they stick out so much, and it's so jarring. Yeah, I didn't. This song was I didn't like it as much as the previous one. I agree with you, Danny. Like the solo was doing the same thing, and I guess I quite like that. This was the one where I first noticed like the very visceral sound. Like you can really hear him tapping, which I find actually quite cool. Like in a, you know, in the sense of like, oh, you can actually like hear him play, and it's like, you know, the mic's so close.
It has its place, right? It has its place, and not on this. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I'd say like it's cool just to think about and appreciate.
There's a time and a place.
But this is not the best moment for it. So yeah, this was one where I thought like, oh god, you know, this whole album might be like a tough listen in the sense of just like finding things to talk about and to like consider, because it was so forgettable, I thought, other than the title. But yeah, moving on.
Yeah. Right. So no substitute. All I want. It starts with like this kind of a cappella part, right? And then there's this like noise in the background. Yeah. There's this like noise in the background. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did any of you guys pick that out? Sounds like a flapping noise. It's like like a fapping noise. Sounds like someone's fapping in the background. Or it's like a harp. I don't know what is that? What is that? It's horrible.
I don't remember.
It's horrible. It's quite a sweet song in a way. Like I hope he gets her. I hope he gets her, because it sounds like he's losing his mind at the end. I can't believe that this guy was not that into this as a project. He sounds like he's fucking bearing it all at the end. When he's like, no substitute for your love. It sounds like he's bearing it all. I mean, are you telling me he was just phoning it in the whole time? Because it does not sound like it. It doesn't sound like he was not bothered either way. And also, I will say that, like, all I want is your passion, but that's not your fashion. I mean, I can't knock it. Like, I can't knock it. And A star for effort. I like absolutely A star for effort. Like, I just can't do it. That really, to knock that really is like punching down in a big way. That's punching down in the worst possible way. To give that shit, to give them shit for writing that. Like, the guitars in the verse are very, very loud, particularly for this kind of song. And again, I think he's doing that sitcom flex. Again, definitely. Like, there's a lot of Def Leppard in this one as well. A lot of Pyromania era Def Leppard. This and a couple of other songs, like I said. And I'll take it because I like that kind of stuff. Craft-wise, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's quite good for this sort of era. I found it quite sweet and funny. The mix is absolutely bonkers, particularly in the verse. It's completely bonkers. Why the guitars need to be that loud. And bricked out as well. They're very thick. Like, you can tell there's a lot of layers of guitar. One of the best ones. A star for effort. I quite liked it. It's quite endearing in a way. Alex, what do you reckon?
It is super endearing. It's so sweet and it's very, this very wholesome sort of way. I don't know. There's something about like the way he's singing and just, you know, the hook works.
That sentiment. There's no substitute for your love. There can be many others.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
But they're just a substitute. I think that is adorable.
You don't get songs like this anymore.
The outro is genuinely very good. I mean, the outro is genuinely very good. When he's wailing away, it's like, for your love!
So in that sense, like, the hook worked for me in this. Like, it was catchy, and I got the feeling of it. Even though it was not usually my sort of thing, but I enjoyed this one, and a very Journey vibe. Like, very, very clear Journey influence here, which I think was okay. And then this one, the soloing freaking killed me, because like,
oh, it's hilarious. It's so
I can't remember which part it is, but like he gets a solo, and then like the first 3 seconds, like he does this nice little bit that sort of like fits the tone of the song, this sort of like melodic, sort of romantic sort of bit, and then straight away just goes straight back to like straight, and it absolutely kills me. And then I wrote the lad can't help himself, because even on the outro,
really
when it's fading out, you still, Vinny gets like 3 seconds as it's fading out, and you just hear him go at it again. Like, it killed me every time. The lad he's just dying for that little pocket of space to just go off. Like, I can just imagine him in the studio just waiting for his moment. And for that, 2 thumbs up for this one. Probably the best song on the album in a way.
It's adorable. Danny, what do you reckon?
Danny.
Okay. I wrote a ballad shouldn't have a better verse than a chorus. Chorus feels weird and transitional. And then, more than maybe any other song we've done throughout this podcast, it grew. This has grown on me so much. I really did like it the first time.
Same, yeah.
And I agree. I think it's joined best on the album.
Yeah,
it's the joint best track.
Yeah,
what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
There is something weird about the note choices in the chorus. Like, it's not anthemic at all. It's this weird, I don't know, like, liminal chorus. It just sort of stands still, like, substitute. But it's really, again, you both used the word endearing, and I really agree with that. It's an endearing song.
Yeah.
And even then, like, I liked the intro. I don't remember this weird noise you're talking about, but suddenly, right, it's different to the first 2 songs.
Yeah.
And I think one of you said, like, even if it's not the sort of thing I usually like, I think you said, Alex, yeah, like, it's not the sort of thing I usually like, but it is something else, and they'd, like, do a reverse snare thing, and it's really wet in the mix. It's so of its time, the production. I noticed that he was experimenting more with tapping in the solo. Again, I think I was just grabbing onto anything that was a little new compared to the first 2 songs. But I think you guys have said it. It's it's a weirdly catchy song. It's the one I've been singing the most. And I just love that it grew on me. I really did not see that coming. So thumbs up for No Substitute.
No Substitute. Good. Yeah, good. I agree. I completely agree. Should we move on to Animal?
Sure.
Animal.
Let's do it.
Right. Okay, so bear with me. I think Metallica may have ripped him off. Go listen to the middle 8. Go listen to the middle 8. The it's Enter Sandman. It's the beginning of Enter Sandman. I swear to God. The boo doo 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 doo. Go listen to it. Vinny was there first. Vinny was there
Did
first.
not pick up on that.
You pick up on it. Vinny was there first, and but bar that, I think that
okay, all right,
the vocal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Again, it's very Def Leppard, particularly the vocal samples, and I don't mean just the title Animal, because that hadn't come out yet. That had not come out yet. That was on Hysteria. Again, Vinny got ripped off again, second time. But this is just, again, the same. The boys are on the loose. They're coming to get you. The mix is all over the fucking place again. All over the fucking place. Everything is so fucking loud, especially the guitars. The one thing about this record that really sticks out is just how undynamic it is. It's one of the most undynamic records I've ever heard in my life. Everything is just on 12 and maxed out. The solo, again, I think particularly on this one at the end, really does border on being a bit shit. It's the same thing where actually I think that someone that doesn't play guitar very well could probably replicate this on like a very high gain amp sound by being like, just pretend to shred. It wouldn't sound that much different. I mean, it would sound different to me. I could probably tell the difference because I play the guitar, right? But I reckon to the average person probably couldn't. And that kind of goes to show how unnecessary doing something like that is, or invaluable really it is, particularly if you're trying to make a commercially successful record, which I think he's trying to do, because a lot of these songs seem to be going for hooks more than anything else. I think the solo at the end is I think when everyone comes in at the end around him doing that solo, that's kind of cool. I thought that's pretty cool. But the same conclusion, really. I think every song so far has been better than what a lot of what Kiss was putting out, but it's a lot of the same standard as the rest of the songs in the album. They're very, very fucking similar, these songs. Very, very, very fucking similar. I guess this one stands out more because it's got the crazy guitar solo at the end, but it's really not that good. And again, I keep saying it, beyond parody. Be it next to Nigel Tufnell's solo, This Is Spinal Tap, and it really isn't much different. Danny, what do you think? Mate? Maybe even potential boyfriend? Who knows?
Well, mate. Well, it started with a riff, and I thought to myself, and I wrote down, a lot of 80s riffs do this thing where they completely would take the punch out of their riffs because they were so excited with the new digital effects that were coming out. And I thought this was an example of that. But look at those liner notes. They showed me, I guess his tone is just shit. Probably should have used some outboard gear to fix that. I fucking hate these bands who write shit like that on their albums, man. I always hate fucking Rage Against the Machine. Their amazing self-titled album has that shit. Why are you... What? I was like, oh, okay, so there's no keyboards on your album. Why are you proud of that? You don't have a keyboardist. Why are you bragging?
We weren't expecting
Also, you've got loads of effects, so what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly. We weren't expecting you to have... This band doesn't have a fucking keyboard player, does it? We weren't expecting...
Right?
Also, there are synthesizers used on this record, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird noises on this record. I'm like, well, that's
definitely
clearly a synth, right?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a sketchy character, though, isn't he?
But anyway, I wouldn't have even...
wait. You know why?
Yeah, I wouldn't even thought of that if they want some...
Sorry, do you want to know why he was saying there was no outboard gear or synthesizers or effects used on this record? It's because he fucking stole them all. That's why. He stole them all, and he's trying to cover his back. He's trying to cover his back. Oh, they were non-used on this record. We had no need of them. For those that don't remember...
Didn't you check the liner notes? We couldn't have stolen anything. That's it. He's got like huge racks of outboard gear in the studio. So we didn't use those. Oh, fuck.
That was... For those who don't remember, Vinnie Vincent was accused when he was in Kiss of stealing gear from the studio. It's one of the reasons why he got fired. And I think, what more evidence do you need than this? Sorry.
I think this is the missing piece of that whole story.
We didn't know outboard gear was used. No. We had no need of it.
Sorry. Okay. Alexei, it's interesting you brought up the Metallica thing, because I thought, was Beat It out yet by Michael Jackson?
Dude,
because there's like exactly the same power chord riff.
I said the exact same thing, but I didn't want to say it, but I didn't want to mention it, because I was like, maybe that is a bit of a stretch. I don't think anyone else is going to pick up on that. That as well.
No, man, it's there. Well. He literally goes... I'm
going to look it up. You carry on talking. I'll look it up.
Okay. Where were we? It's a tried and true chord structure in that verse. Good stuff. But god damn it, more than the other tracks, I was really holding out for this chorus. and it's a Gene-ass chorus, this one.
Yeah, it's true.
That descending melody thing, no energy. There's no. One thing, yeah, it got me thinking, again, we've got to keep bringing it back to the guitar solos. So, I should emphasize, and perhaps this is coming at the guitar playing from a different angle than what we've said so far. I should emphasize that the fucking non-stop noodling from Vinnie does sort of add an overall interest to the album in me that a lot of the contemporaries don't have, and it does make it a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Because all those other bands have lead singers to tame the guitarists and tell them, no, you get your solo later.
Yeah.
And even then, they're probably, in control of the solo in some way. While Vinny's obviously, in charge here. So the guitars are so loud in the solo. The solos are as long as he wants. He gets to fill the song full of licks. Again, it's up and down. This album, the guitar playing really reels me in and spits me back out a lot, this album. Even this solo, he was doing some nicer weird and a bit slower noise stuff at the start of the solo, and I was like, yeah, I'm into that. And then he just switched to just chromatic fucking masturbation again, and I was like, come on, man. But then he was so relentless with he wouldn't stop. He just kept doing it, and then it got better, actually. I sort of accepted it. I was like, oh, okay, no, there is some energy here. So it's very confusing how to analyze his guitar playing on this. It's very up and down.
Yeah, definitely.
Alexei, have you found which came first?
Yeah, so Beat It came first in 1982. So I don't know. But Vinny apparently had these. Vinny did have these songs for quite a while.
It wasn't just stealing gear.
No, maybe they met. Maybe they met by accident, him and Michael. Michael was leaving a studio with a child under his coat, and Vinny was leaving a studio with a rack tom under his coat, and they locked eyes. And Vinny went, and Vinny went,
Eddie Van Halen under his coat.
Yeah, and they locked eyes, and Vinny went, I won't tell if you won't. Deal. My lips are shut. If yours are. It's definitely happened.
Definitely what happened. But yeah, confusing song. Overall, not great. Alex, what do you think of this one?
What do you think was Vinnie Vincent's primary primary method of storing gear, like his mouth? And shoving his mouth full of SM58s, microphone.
I imagine him like a Pink Panther sort of character, and really exaggerated, sort of walking, and then he has a small bag, but everything can fit inside it, and he's just
the massive overcoat,
full mixing console.
Yeah, he fit an entire mixing board up his arse. He smoked something for a prison in his anal cavity. Vinny, you don't look well. You're limping. I'm fine. Or he's got pouches in his chin, like in his neck, like a hamster. He just cram loads of shit in there. Cram loads of pics.
Well, when he was taking the stew from the other members of Kiss, he was just storing it all in his chicken cheese.
when he dumped the food back in the bowl, there was a Marshall head in there, sticking out.
What's this, Vinny?
I knew it. Right. Next, we've got. Do you want to?
I didn't get to talk about Animal.
I wonder what Alex thinks about Animal.
Oh, sorry. My bad. All right, Alex, what do you think of Animal?
I agree with a lot of you guys. This is the one where just noticing there's just, like you said, Alexei, there's no dynamics. It's just all up there, volume up all the time,
out.
And it's so noticeable. And Danny's right with how frustrating and ridiculous this song is, but I think this is actually one of the more enjoyable songs on the album, because for me, it leans fully into just this sound and how ridiculous Vinny's playing is. Like, it's not trying to be like a pop classic, like a ballad, and then also have the shredding guitar. I feel like this one, the emphasis is more on just, well, we're just going to give loads of space for Vinny to do what he needs to do. And it is so... the way the song ends, with like Vinny going mental and the band come back in and join and stuff, like, it is so dumb. But I quite like that this is on the album. Like, at the beginning when I said, like, I wanted to see Vinny's vision, I wanted to sort of like see him in the forefront. This is more what I imagined. So for that reason, I enjoyed this track more than quite a few of the others.
Excellent. Next we've got Do You Want to Make Love? I'm really running out of things to say, guys. I really am.
Do we not have Twisted?
What about Twisted?
Oh. Sorry. They're all the fucking same. That's the problem. They're all the fucking same. Sorry.
Oh, man, it's Twisted.
It's Twisted. Sorry. Again. Oh, yeah. Those the vocal effects are very Def Leppard. Again, it's a very Def Leppard thing to do. Very Def Leppard thing to do. I think the main influences he had for this record were Def Leppard, Van Halen, and AC/DC. That kind of sounds like what we're sort of getting here. That and Yngwie Malmsteen for the solo. The riff, the main riff, is very, very him. You can hear it. You can hear it in a lot of the Kiss stuff he wrote, like Young and Wasted and Killer and stuff like that. It's a very him sort of riff in the verse. And it's a pretty good riff. It's a pretty decent riff. Simple, memorable. I think this one's one of the better ones. It's very marginal, though. Again, I'm running out of things to say. The solo feels a little bit more earned. I think that's an energy thing or a feel thing. When it's going crazy at the end with those like absolutely mental dive bombs and the drums as well, that's very, very, very Van Halen. And I was sort of into that. Like, it genuinely sounds kind of mental. Like, I thought that was kind of interesting. Other than that, again, very similar to the rest of it. It's perfect. It's fine. It's average. Really average. Alex, what do you think of Twisted?
I wrote that this is the most generic one yet, which I guess is quite saying something considering what we've had so far. What did you guys think about those drums? Because to me, it was, again, very comical. Like, it felt like something from like the Flintstones, like just how fast they were, and the sort of like the timbre of them. Like, it seemed so ridiculous, and in, I guess, the Vinny style, not particularly fitting. It just goes straight into these incredibly fast toms. I guess they are. I don't know. Very off-putting in the similar way that Vinny's solos are. I don't have much more to say about this one. This one, again, suffers with the exact issues we said before, and like Alexei said. Danny?
Yeah. The like fucking vocals at the start made me say, "Stop that!" when I heard it. So don't do that. That's very annoying.
Yeah.
This is the first one I thought, oh, I'm losing attention. But then I thought, actually, not bad for this sort of album.
No,
track
I agree.
5.
I agree.
We've definitely had worse.
That's pretty good. Actually, I think to be this far into this album, that's
pretty
all
good.
Right to be phasing out.
It is a shame they cannot go into a chorus without an extended pause at the end of the bridge, because not one chorus earns that level of hype. So far, at least. Like they really act like they're about to hit you with such a good hook, and they just can't do it. On first listen, amazingly, I wrote, "Sorry, it's fast, but there's nothing to this solo," and that's coming from me. I'm the resident. This song sucks, but the solo shreds. To be fair, like on the second listen, I was in a better mood or something. I was like, oh, it's pretty good, actually. I was back to my same old self. But it is the same stuff as a lot of what we've been having. And in the last chorus, he does do a sort of siren effect thing. Again, when he does, he's definitely able to do quite interesting stuff on the guitar, and when he does that, it's very welcome.
Yeah.
But you guys said it. Not much else to say about this.
It's a very noisy
We can
record.
move on.
It's a very noisy record, this, as well. Like a lot of dive bombs, a lot of squeals.
Yeah.
Not really necessarily in a positive way. It doesn't feel earned.
It's both.
Yeah. Do you want to make love? I really am running out of things to say at this point. Like, very, very similar to the rest of the album. I've really got nothing on this one. It's absolutely fine. The solo though, I think is one of the better ones. I think there's a bit more composition, and there are more defined sections and flourishes, which I think the other ones lack. The other ones just feel like it's an endless stream of notes. I feel like this one he's thought a bit more compositionally about it. But maybe that's just in comparison.
Interesting.
Maybe that's just in comparison to the other solos. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys didn't hear that. Alex, what do you think?
Right.
Yeah, struggling to talk about this one. Very similar issues. I'm noticing that I really don't like a lot of the drums on this album. Like, that could just be a mixing thing, but they're just either they're so boring that you don't notice them, or they'll do something that just feels like it gets in the way, like it diverts your attention just too much and like frustrates you. I don't, like we've already said, like they just can't write a good hook. There's something about like all these songs, and this one is very much built around
song,
trying to be built around the chorus, and it just doesn't work. And they seem to try the same thing again and again and again.
It's not
in
there.
the way like the backing singers accompany them, and like Danny was saying with the last one, with like the spacing, the pacing. It just doesn't work. At least this one is this one's fun and short, but like so forgettable. And yeah, songs like this from the 80s, I don't know what they're going for. Like, these songs are like, who is listening to this? Like, I really struggle with that idea. But I'm thinking of like, who's listening to this song like back in the day?
Even if I liked this, even if I liked this, I'd still concede that, like, yeah, but it's for absolute fucking losers, isn't it? It seems like it's the kind of music that would be like in the background of like a volleyball scene in a film from the 80s.
But it's like, that's the only thing. I can't imagine someone putting this on in their car and being like, oh yeah, great, like, we're gonna play this track, or like, you know, playing in their home. Like, I just feel so disconnected from this scene in that way.
Yeah,
but maybe
that's why I keep
problem.
using them. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that maybe like a Hollywood producer of films, like, who's never really met an actual person in their life, like, would assume that like someone that's a bit crazy or who likes rock or metal music might like or be into. Do you know what I mean? The only place where music like this exists is in a film. It's the only place where this could possibly exist would be in a film.
That can't be true.
It's
though, right?
Well, someone might like it. Vinnie Vincent clearly likes it. On him, by the way, Kerrang fucking love this. Kerrang, yeah, this is put that into perspective. Kerrang said this was in 1988. Said this was the 100th greatest metal record of all time. This bamboozling. You made an interesting point about how he doesn't really seem to get there with like the hooks and stuff like that. Like, he's sort of trying to go for hooks and he can't. I remember a quote I heard relatively recently from Gene Simmons saying that actually in many respects he thinks that Vinnie Vincent is a better singer and a better songwriter than he is. He's saying like he is. He's a better singer and he's a better songwriter than I am.
Yeah.
In many respects he is. And he was saying, but what it was simply just his attitude and who he was as a person. And a lot of people, like, you know, again, like Carmine Apiece and Paul Stanley, and they all go on about like how amazingly talented he is. Like, they're all like, he's a great singer, great guitarist, amazing, undeniable talent, but like a bad guy. You really don't hear it. Not on this record. I do not hear that. Really.
Well, what you said as well about or what Google Gemini said about his background as well. Like, if he was raised by two musicians, like a country singer and that, or a guitar player at least. Like, I'm sure, yeah, he does have like a wealth of knowledge of song structure, melodies, and all sorts of things. But we're not really seeing it here at all. No, I wonder why that is.
Not really. By the way, not to shit on him too much, because he did co-wrote 1,000,000 and I Still Love You. Like, there's, he's got some special sauce. He's got some special sauce in there.
Yeah.
But for considering that was one of the reasons why I was actually quite excited for this album, because I was like, maybe we can see that people talk, that people talk about. Maybe it was Paul, and maybe we can see the talent that people rave about, and maybe it was Paul and Gene, particularly Gene, that were maybe watering down and tempering his ideas. But I don't really think we're seeing that necessarily. Danny, what do you think? Have you already been? Sorry, got sidetracked.
I've not. You don't know what I think of Do You Want to Make Love? I might love it. I might hate it.
You might be, yeah. Tell me about it.
Or I might think exactly the same as you guys. That, like, it's the same as many tracks on the album.
Yeah, I was sort of better.
They're doing that thing. Kiss did this sometimes, but they're doing it consistently, where like the verse is better than the chorus by quite a lot, but it builds you up in a very bad way. My fingers were crossed on this one, because I actually liked the drums a bit more on this one, Alex. I don't remember why I wrote "Give Me That Beat." Maybe I just noticed them more. But no, absolutely missed on the chorus, and I made the mistake of taking in some of the lyrics, which were awful.
Yep.
And I was being a bit facetious in my notes. I just put the solo is guitar, which, again, against what Alexei said about this solo, this to me is exactly the same as... it's just a Vinnie Vincent solo. Yeah, we can move on.
Enough. Let's move on to Back on the Street. Again, it's just so, like, just beyond parody, these titles. This one, I will say, I've said that mostly they've kind of sat around the same quality, a lot of these songs. They don't really seem to differ. This one I will say is probably a bit worse than the others. And I think it just comes down to it just being a bit boring. I'd rather have the sort of high energy 80s part. I'd much rather have the high energy 80s party record where everything's maxed out to 10 than this. I think it's quite Toto-like, but being played through Van Halen, and it just sounds really messy and boring and obnoxious. I didn't really like this one. Didn't take to it at all. Danny, what do you think?
It started, and I straight away thought, no, I'm not in the mood for this. I don't want this. I wondered whether if Paul sang it, I'd be more into it. Because maybe the chorus on this one's slightly better than what we've had so far. But I'm really not feeling it. The solo is the least fitting we've had so far.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. In a bad way. Yeah. And it's just annoying. So I'm afraid I'd confidently say this is the worst track of the album.
Oh, yeah, I think
just
so.
Because
definitely.
It doesn't vibe with the other tracks.
Yeah. I mean, of all of them, I was sort of like, if this was on in the background or whatever, I can live with it. It's fine. This will be the one where I'd be like, can we skip this, or can someone change it? Or I didn't like this one. Alex K, what do you think?
I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but I didn't mind the shift in speed, because the past few songs, it was just felt so one note, and so just something a bit different. Like, every time this track came on, I would notice it because of that. That being said, it's not a brilliant song. This one I thought was incredibly Paul Stanley coded. I can really picture him singing this song. There's something about the tempo and the sort of the way the singer was enunciating. I can totally see him singing it. I don't think it would improve it greatly. But I don't know, something about it. And yeah, the solo in this one is again hilarious. Again, when there's the more contrast there is between the verse, well, yeah, the rest of the song and the solo, the funnier it gets. And this one is just completely different planet from the song. Yeah. Next.
Oh, I agree with that. I want to be your victim. That fucking beat again.
Yeah.
And everything's just, ow! That's the bone now! Oh, man! It's that's all I got. It's just that. It's just that. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, but it's all right. I've said it already. Like, see the previous songs before I think about this one. Alex?
Yeah, some good riffage, same complaints, same positives. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, this one goes straight back to what we had before, and I'll just say for this one, because I say there's not much else. Like, you do hear, like, during the verse, like, you do hear Vinnie doing some, like, cool stuff. Like sometimes he would make some, like, cool whirring sounds, or I don't know, like wah stuff that he's just, like, tinkering with in the back. Well, it's just like really interesting and different, and something that we never got from Kiss.
But Alex,
the musical, especially during the verses,
reality is that it's not work. Sorry.
And like, I'm just saying that's frustrating because I think Vinnie does have a lot to offer, as we saw in Kiss. But just the way this album is presented. And a lot of it's to do with the mixing, but also, yeah, some of the songwriting choices. And it's frustrating. Yeah, the song kind of sucks, and the lyrics make me feel kind of sick.
Well, not shit.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Moving on. Baby O. I mean, it's another one that is slightly worse than the rest, mainly because of the chorus. He's got that daytime TV flex going on again, and it's very twee. It's kind of like Gene at his very, 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 very worst. That chorus. That's Gene at his very, it's very twee and a bit shit. We do get a key change in this one with truly the worst soloing over the top of the entire record. It sounds terrible, like comically out of place, like more so I think than the other tracks. However, the rest of it is basically the same. I'm not really a fan of this one, but it's really not loads worse than the rest. However, the soloing is comically bad, and the chorus is. Actually, I think I dislike this one more than I think. I think there's a bit of a snare trap with this, where, because on the surface of it, because production wise and timbre wise, everything sounds so fucking similar that maybe you sort of gauge towards ignoring things like melody and chorus. He's like, well, I guess it just sounds like the rest of them because it's got like the gated snare, the really blocked out guitars, stuff like that. I do think this is actually quite a lot worse than the others. I feel like there's a sort of trap. Maybe you could be that maybe I was tempted to fall into, because I guess on a very surface level it sounds like the same as the rest. No, did not like this one. Danny, what do you think of Baby O?
It's interesting just looking at the two things I wrote. They sort of show the duality of this album. Because first I wrote, I have grown weary of you, Vinnie. And then I wrote, against what you said, Alexei, oh, go on then, that relentless shredding at the end. Like, it pushes me away and then he brings me back.
Wow.
That's all I wrote, Alex.
I know I know some people really love the 80s, not particularly in this call, but some people really love the 80s. And I'll say now, I struggle with the 80s quite a bit, and it's stuff like this song, man. It's it's the worst. I really didn't like this one. I think this is the worst song on the album.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I don't know. It sounds awful. Like the drums, like the hi-hat is so loud and so messy. The singer and Vinnie are at complete odds, and the solo, I don't know. It sounds like it's like recorded on different equipment or something. Like this, it has this muffled effect for parts of it. Which again, I don't know where it came from. Again, it could just be a mixing thing or a technical thing. Yeah, really not into this song whatsoever. No.
Not good.
Not good.
Right, final track. We're nearly there. This might be the worst episode we have ever done. Fucking disaster from start. I regret. It was my idea to do Vinnie Vincent records as well.
I'm happy we're doing it.
Responsibility for that. I'd say full responsibility. There's
We're
only
in
one
this
more
together.
after this. There's only one more after this. God damn. Right, Invasion. So end track. So I was quite excited by this one just looking at the track listing.
Yeah,
so I was like,
yeah.
Final track, 7 minutes, and it's called Invasion. I'm like, this is gonna be like the statement. This is gonna be the epic. It's gonna be the big thing. It's got a lot of energy radiating off it already, and I feel like, you know, this is like the track. You know, like the center of the masterpiece. This epic he's been holding back, and like here it is, you know. And yeah, you're already laughing, right? Because I kind of really don't have much to say about the majority of it. Like it's kind of messy at the start. I'm really struggling to get hold of anything at the beginning. Really am. Like I'm really struggling to hear the vocals on this one, particularly in the verse. Like the chorus was a bit better. You could actually hear the vocals, but really not much of a hook, at least compared to the rest of the album. But I was also like, maybe that's not what they're going for, because this is the big, long song. I was saying this is going to be about like musicianship, changing it up, maybe like, you know, frenetic sections. This is going to be more of like an instrumental track, right? So in that sense, I was really looking forward to the second half. I was like, all right, maybe it becomes Rocket Queen at this point. It does not become Rocket Queen. Rocket Queen it does not become. Instead, for about 4 fucking minutes, right, it's just this really fucking nasty noise. And you've got that for about 4 fucking minutes. So about the first minute, I was like, because you can hear the hi-hat going in the background, right? Going. So I was like, all right, it's going to bust into something. This is when it's
it's the invasion. Off. That's the sound of the invasion.
Yeah,
happening.
It's the invasion. It's going to kick off. So this is like building up. And it's just fucking nonsense. It's just fucking It's just this. It's just that. Till the end. For 4 minutes. And I was like, it's not going to do this for the rest. It's not going to do this to the end. There's no way. I was just aghast. Absolutely aghast that he had the balls to do that. And then it just cuts out. It just goes... And then it's silence for
and
about
you're left.
for about 20 seconds. And that is it. This is not going to...
Vinny's gone back to his home planet. That's the invasion.
What are your
It
thoughts?
beamed him back up. And
What are
he's
your
taken the equipment with him.
No.
he had a little shrinking gun where he'd shrink Marshall stacks and put them in his pocket. I swear there's a Marshall stack in here. If only I could prove it. He's taking them. Paul, that's impossible. How could he fit a Marshall stack in his pocket?
This song, it's called Invasion because it's about him like breaking into other studios in the business, nicking all their gear as he sings Invasion.
Oh dear. Right. Do you guys have anything you want to say about this? I think
I have. This is the
covered
most we've disagreed, man.
the ludicrous.
We finally disagree on something.
Ludicrous. What are you fucking? Oh, do you mean like the first half?
I think this is legitimately the joint best track on the album with
Good.
Substitute. The first
Fucking
listen I thought is
Lord.
easily the best. But Substitute, actually, Substitute's probably number one.
Yeah,
So I'll call this
Substitute's
second
the one.
best.
Yeah.
Instantly, I thought there's more intensity to this song than any of the previous songs, and I thought that's good. It built up, and I legit wrote, we did it, a good chorus. Not a great chorus, but I was feeling it. I was actually fucking with this chorus. It's the first one on the album, at least on the first listen again, Substitute grew. But this, I was so happy that we got a song that sounds like this. It just feels like more of a song than most of the tracks on this album. There's more to this, I felt. The solo was very on brand. It made me think, like, this whole album, he's really gone more chromatic with his soloing than I expected. I was generally enjoying this one. This is one of the upper end ones on the album for me, the solo. And even my take on the ending's different, Alexei, because, yeah, we got to, like, the 3-minute mark, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like the end of the song. But then I thought, look at that runtime. And I knew straight away, man. I said, oh, we're going to get several minutes of noise. And then we got several minutes of noise. And I am not going to defend it. I'm not going to fight its corner. But it clearly did not upset me like it upset you.
Wrong! It's a fucking waste of time. It's a fucking waste of time. And unearned as well. Like, I can deal with that, like noise like that, if it's earned, right? If they sort of built unearned. Just fucking waste of time. Sorry, Alex, what do you think of Invasion? If no Substitute had ended with that, I would have been like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll give that a pass.
Maybe this is.
It was like, it's him going, for your love!
Put that at the end of No Substitute. Track 3.
Go on, Alex.
And it comes into
Maybe
Animal.
this is all just a lesson in sort of like expectations, because I had the exact same expectations as Alexei. I saw the track length and I was like, oh, of course. They had the album full of the quote-unquote radio hits, and it's all leading up to, the end of the album. We'll let Vinny have his space where he can creatively do whatever he wants, and he can just have it. He can just take his time with whatever mental thing he wants to do, and it's not that at all. It's a song in a very, very extremely similar vein to the rest of the album. I'm amazed, Danny, that you could pick out the song as well as you did. I think it was a little bit of exhaustion from the album, but I really couldn't like distinguish this one from the rest. I remember like the sort of like chugging, like the dun, 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 which like again when I started listening to it the first time, I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna like build, like, you know, this is like really gonna go somewhere, and you know, for the rest of the other songs, Vinny just gets, you know, 30 seconds, 40 seconds to like go crazy, but now he's got 8 minutes, so he can really pace himself, and he can like, you know, start somewhere and then move up, you know, in some of the great Slash solos that, you know, we've done, like the ones that he's done well, he's able to pace himself well and build somewhere. I thought we were gonna get that, and we really don't. We just get the same as we've got for the rest of the album, plus the invasion alarm, as I see it as. This is such a disappointing end to the album.
That's the alarm for people to go, quick, hide our gear.
Yeah.
when they hear that noise coming.
A frustrating way to end the album.
Yeah, not good. Overall thoughts on the first Vinnie Invasion album, Vinnie Vincent Invasion album. A V for every member. Oh wait, no, 23. The Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Shit. Sorry.
Invasion
Overall
is
thoughts?
3, man.
The mix is bad. It's really noisy and maxed out. And I'm starting to wonder maybe if Paul and Gene had a bit of a point with the lack of self-editing in terms of solos. In fact, I think they're actually right. And that pains me to say, like, because there are actually points on this where I was like, you know, you need to shut the fuck up now. Like, and yeah, he is playing very fast, but what about your next album? Like, are you just going to play faster on that? And yes, I do realize what a Paul and Gene thing that is to say, but it is true. It is true. And we'll see when we get to the next album. But having said all that, the songwriting is kind of, in a weird way, one of its strengths, and it's certainly better than a lot of... There's a lot of filler on this record. In fact, it's kind of entirely filler, apart from No Substitute, really. And in terms of the quality of that filler, is better than a lot of Kiss albums from this period. And in that regard, because this album, it wasn't horrific, and there was nothing really that I was sort of horrified by other than really the ending of the last song, and some of the soloing was just outrageous. But other than that, on a whole, as a bulk of the song, I guess it's sort of saved by the fact that it's more song orientated than solo orientated. For the most part, I thought this was just okay. So I'm saying we put it in on the Kiss ranking about number 10.
Oh
you've
shit!
got
I
some
didn't
Kiss
realize
80s material in there. You got
we were gonna
Analyze.
put it on the Kiss ranking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I said that at the beginning. Yeah. So I'm saying we add it to the list and we put it at number 10.
So that's between Asylum and Psycho Circus.
I feel that, like,
Ooh.
yeah. And I want to make this clear. For the most part, No Substitute is good, but I think that on a lot of their 80s output, Paul usually has a fucking great track. Like, he'll have Who Wants to Be Lonely, A Million to One, Thrills in the Night. It's taking me ages to think of them. I'm Alive, whatever. He's got a few. He's got to have a bang on the album, and I think for the most part, those songs are spread across a few albums, and I don't think anything really on this album matches the heights of a lot of those songs. But I do think, as a whole, from start to finish, it's better than. It's of a better quality than the album run of Animalize, Asylum, and Lick It Up. Although Lick It Up is at number 7, I think Lick It Up is probably too high, in my opinion, because you've got that terrible run of Gene songs on it. But that's my opinion. Danny, what do you think?
It sort of made me feel a bit like a hypocrite, this album. Like, I feel like it's what I've been asking for through all the Kiss albums. It's like, oh, we'll just give Danny the shred that he wants. Let a guitarist do what he wants. And I didn't love it as much as you might hope, looking at it that way. But at the same time, just talking about it now, like, throughout this talk, I've just been thinking, like, I have a generally sort of weirdly positive take on the album, even though we've not been that nice about it. I don't know, I've enjoyed... Maybe it's just...
No, but a lot of it's fine. Because the problem is, how many times can you say it's fine? It's fine. It's fine. So you kind of have to lean into the negatives. You'll just be like, that solo is ridiculous. The lyrics are bizarre. Or shit. That the mix is awful. But for the most part, as a whole, as the songs, it's just fine.
I wonder if it's to do with... Maybe I've got a sort of underdog bias. I feel like that. Because I am struggling to, like, pinpoint specifically how this is better than Animalize or Asylum. But maybe it's just a sort of... I feel like I want to root for this more than I do a Kiss album. And maybe that's unfair. I should try not to think that way. It just does, like, it just seems like a band that was doomed to fail. Like, the name is so Kyle Gass Project. You know, it's so like just not a good name for a band, and it just doesn't sound like a band that's going to be successful. And even the story and everything. Like I said, this album pushes me away and brings me back in, so it's very mixed. Especially all that. Like, but I sort of had fun thinking about the guitar playing. I don't know. I could go on. Alexei, you said between 8 and 9, did you? Or 9 and 10? Instantly, when you said that, I disagreed in my head, but I've just looked at the list, and I think I completely agree. It's not above Psycho Circus. It is above Asylum. Yeah, I completely agree with your ranking, man. That's rare. Alex, what do you think?
I think all of us have very, mixed opinions and sort of conflicting opinions. Because, even not just, focusing on just the guitar, but so much of this album is paint by numbers, hair metal, song structures, timbre. There's so much of it is just sort of generic, what you'd completely expect. And then you get, Vinnie adding his weird solos. And it's, that is what I wanted, at the beginning, when Alexei, that's what I want from a Vinnie Vincent album. I said, I want him to be at the forefront and to, try out his ideas. In a way, he's doing that on this album, but it does feel like it's in the middle, where there's been this major compromise or something to that effect. And for that, it is a frustrating listen in terms of what my expectations were. But also, like Alexei said, as a listen, it fit, when I was listening to it while cooking earlier today, it fit very nicely in the background. I was never oh God, could please get to the next track, or what the hell's going on here? It was just sort of oh yeah, it's fine. It just keeps you going. Just the beat just keeps moving on. And so that does make it hard to rank. But I think I agree with you. I'm gonna have to look back at the track list from Asylum. Sorry. But I wouldn't put it above any of the albums from 9 upwards. So yeah, I'm happy to put it between Psycho Circus and Asylum. For Substitute alone, I mean, what a hit.
Substitute alone, what a hit.
I think as a whole, it's of a better quality than those albums. I think mainly because Gene's nowhere near it for the most part. Let's stick it in. Let's sign this puppy. Oh wait, fuck. Okay. We're done. So next week or next time, let's just stop saying.
21 listing. All Alexei's done is just put Asylum. It's just put Asylum on another line.
Do it after.
Away.
Because I thought Alex was, because I saw someone else was. I thought someone else was doing it, so I stopped.
Just end the podcast, squad.
So, okay. So, sorry about that. Sorry about that past 2 hours. I hope you got some enjoyment out of it. Next time, we will be doing the second Vinnie Vincent Invasion record. And then who knows? Who knows where we will go next? What should we sing
Substitute
to end this out?
No Substitute.
Okay, Substitute. That sounds good. No Substitute. All right, let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Substitute. I love you so much. Hide the gear.